written, directed, edited, everything that has to do with the short films. So little by little, I was progressing. I would add a little bit of more time. I would go from 2-3 minutes, then I started jumping up to 10 minutes, and then sooner or later, I was creating like 30-minute, 45-minute short films. And it kind of started evolving. And I think it was more the excitement of creating something, showing it to people, getting their feedback, and then learning from my mistakes and stuff that I know I could have done better, and I would incorporate that to the next one. And I kept on doing that over and over. And then sooner or later, Rust came to play. And Rust was a short film originally. We shot inside Las Vegas Haunts in Las Vegas, Nevada. And they allowed me to use their haunted house as my set for the film. We shot the entire thing in one day, not even a full day. It was like 6 hours in total. We shot that whole entire film. And it was just something we did for fun. I had my closest friends. We were just creating art. We were having fun. And then I ended up submitting that film to a few film festivals, and I started getting responses, and people were really happy with what they saw. They wanted to see more of my killer, so I went back and I extended that script, and I shot extra scenes. And then I shot the sequel, and now it became a feature film. Both films got picked up by Wild Eye Releasings for distribution. So they're slated for a later release this year. That was like my first, my foot in the door, I guess you can say, into feature films. Because soon after that, I ended up doing my next horror film, which was Atelophobia. And Atelophobia was a bigger scaled, a very intense film. Yeah.
Well, can you tell the listeners out there what it was and what it is? And
yeah. Well, I'll do this. So Rust is very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Group of friends, and it's actually based on a true story itself. So that was, Rust. Now, Atelophobia is more the type of film I like to call horror fantasy. It's a mixture of like The Cell meets Saw Hostel. It's a very gruesome film. But I want to say Atelophobia has been my most it's just such a personal film to me. It was my self-expression, artistic self-expression, as an artistic revenge, I guess you can say, I was bullied horribly in high school, and this was my way of showing how I felt and showing those who hurt me and did all that they did to me in high school, kind of my, look at me now, look at what I'm doing now, like this is who I am, and you guys did not bring me down, and I've succeeded, and I used it as a platform for myself to express myself. And it's a very gruesome film. A lot of the situations in the film reflect of certain events that happened in my life in high school, as far as bullying and stuff I was told and things like that. And yeah, so that was Atelophobia, and then soon after that, I ended up shooting Atelophobia 2, which we just had its premiere a month or two ago, and it got a great response. And then the scripts for Rust 3 and Atelophobia 3 soon were finalized, and we start production on those installments later this year. And that was when I was full-blown a horror director. But that soon changed around 2015. I ended up pitching a script of some characters and a universe that I've created to my investors and my producers, and they loved it. They asked, do I have enough juice? Do I have enough to expand the world and the universe? And I did. I wrote 3 scripts, and I signed up for three films, the trilogy, and that became The Immortal Wars, and that was a sci-fi action film. Think the first one is very Mortal Kombat meets Hunger Games.
Now, where do people see that at, or where can they see it at?
I'm excited, and I'm excited to announce it also. July 3rd, it's getting its nationwide release on stands. Every major retail store will be carrying The Immortal Wars on DVD. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Now, are you?
Yeah.
Are you able to see it on Netflix too, or will that be later on? Maybe.
Yeah, that'll be later on. Right now, it's just the physical product. So the actual DVD will be on stands and on shelves on July 3rd. It's being released. Yeah, we did do a few screenings in Texas, LA, and in Las Vegas. People were able to see the film, and thankfully, I was blessed to have sold-out screenings. All my screenings for The Immortal Wars sold out every screening. So it was very nice, and it felt good that the impact that the film had was really drawing the attention of people. We wrapped the sequel back in November. That is in post-production, and we're aiming for a September, October premiere for the sequel.
Oh, wow.
Of that film.
Now, I mean, where do you get your actors and stuff at to, make these movies?
I do a lot of casting in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and I like to take some of my work back to my hometown in El Paso, Texas. El Paso is where I'm from. I grew up there, and they are amazing people, and the community is so great out there. They're so supportive of what I do, and I like to take my work back there. So I like doing castings around those areas. I know I've done a few actors who are from Utah and Arizona. So it's kind of everywhere. But I'm majority of the time I do cast within Nevada, California, and Texas. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you ever cast any famous or semi-famous or lukewarm actors, or are these all newbie actors?
A lot of the cast, that was one thing that I wanted to do, is help the independent community actors also to help their resumes and their demo reels, actors reels. But I do cast key actors. The Immortal Wars, I have Eric Roberts, Tom Sizemore, Bill Oberst Jr. They all come out in the film. Eric Roberts also returned for the sequel of The Immortal Wars and will return for the third installment as well as Bill Oberst Jr. He actually comes out in the sequel as well. Yeah, so I like to get key actors involved with my films because it does help in the business part of filmmaking. It helps with distribution. It helps with the deals. It helps with sales for the film. Getting key actors. We also have Mindy Robinson, who is also in The Immortal Wars 2. So yeah, I do cast named celebrity actors to come in and be a part of the films. I do that, yeah.
Wow, one thing I didn't realize, back in the early or late 1990s, early 2000s, I used to, manage a chain of professional camera stores. And it was really, I got out of photography, because I've been in and out of broadcasting for so many years. But I didn't realize some of this stuff here till recently when I went out and I started wanting to do some, short videos and stuff. You can go out nowadays and drop maybe $2,500 and get yourself a camera that is actually capable of, I've actually talked to a couple directors and producers. They're actually using those cameras to do feature-length movies, and it really shocked me.
Yeah, no, I think nowadays it's the opportunity to find equipment that can create amazing work. It's so, I'm trying to find the word for it, convenient, I should say. Very convenient to find equipment that can definitely create some stuff that is insanely beautiful. Throughout the years, I've used different cameras for every film that I've done. I started with home cameras, and then I moved to DSLRs, and then I moved to, I'm pretty sure you know what a Blackmagic Ursa is.
Oh, yeah,
it's a beast of a camera. Yeah, we shot the entire thing, the entire film of The Immortal Wars was shot on the Blackmagic Ursa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's experience. Like I said, I'm learning from each project, so seeing that, it was very educating to see that. And then with The Immortal Wars 2, we ended up shooting on the Red. So we kind of been moving from one camera to the other and making everything look as as best as possible.
Well, that's really good though for somebody like you. It started out as young, doing it on probably film camera maybe, then going into VHS and all that technology. Nowadays, like I said, some of this camera stuff you can do. I mean, it just it puts it in a reach for people. Just the new person doing what you want to do. It gives them within their budget to really produce some really great, footage.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. It really, it's just some of the stuff that I've seen out there. Even that, it's funny. I think there's even a film festival dedicated to films that are shot solely on the iPhone. It's insane that in the palm of our hands, we have a piece of equipment that is creating beautiful work out there. And I think it's a beautiful thing, actually. Even for like when I was younger, I couldn't afford a good camera. Like I was using my parents' camera, which I was constantly getting in trouble for. But now it's like the kids nowadays and our generation growing up right now, they have the opportunity to create some amazing stuff, and it's in the palm of their hands. So I think it's really cool.
Well, I remember when, I was in, probably about 13, 14, because I've been in photography, off and on my whole entire life, I think from about age 6 or 7. But I remember I went through the stage where I was making movies, like when I was in junior high school. And I remember going in, sneaking my dad's old Bell & Howell, camera, 8mm, not even Super 8. So you had 25 feet, I think, filmed, and you had to go in some dark area, flip the film around, to film on the other side. That's how you got your 50-foot roll. And you're looking maybe at a 2.5 minute film. And I was making little films like that in junior high school. And I tell you, when you're on a budget of like allowance back then, I think I was getting $5 a week from my parents. That was my whole budget right there. One week I'd save up for the film. The next week I save up to send it off to Kodak to get it developed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Things have changed so much when it comes to equipment. I mean, I remember my first short films I was editing on VCRs. I would have 3 VCRs connected together, and I was playing one VHS, then I'd take it off, I'd push pause. And I don't even remember how I would do it, but I was editing on VCRs. Now everything's so digital. You're just like, drop the clip here. You can airdrop to this, and it's insane how technology has changed throughout the years. It really has.
Well, really what's made a big advancement, the series Stargate, was filmed up in Vancouver. I mean, they really advanced, digital technology a lot. So for special effects, I mean, they really spent a lot of money, on special effects, and it advanced so much during that series of Stargate that it really filtered into, all the sci-fi.
Yeah, no, it's like we could, and I'll now use the Immortal War as an example. When I did the film, when I wrote it, I knew I was going into a project that was going to be loaded with visual effects and CGI and all of these effects that were going to be needed that I did not know. I didn't go to school for that, so I didn't know. So, I had a team, and I went forward with production, and we did it. But after we wrapped production, the team that I had signed up on for, they actually got called into another project, and they weren't able to do it. So I had a meeting with my executive producers, and we were sitting there for like 2 hours. We were just like, what are we going to do? We got to figure this out. Without CGI, the film it will not be complete. And like I said, I didn't know CGI. I didn't know visual effects like that. But it came out of nowhere, and it spilled, and I was just like, oh, I'll do it. I'll take care of it. And I looked into their eyes, and I'm like, why did you just say that? You just threw yourself to the lions? Like, you just threw yourself under the bus. And, they're like, okay, great, that's good, then we'll move forward, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, all right, let's figure out, how are we going to do this?
Now, I bet you were saying more than that, but you can't say it over there.
Oh, yeah. I was so mad at myself. But it was just it was an instinct that I had, and that's one thing with me is like when I start something, I finish it, and if something goes wrong, it's part of being a director. Is like you have to solve problems, issues right away, and you have to move forward. And I did that. Yes, I did it without thinking what were going to be not the consequences, but what was the next step after